What's up YouTubers, John62491 here with some Battlefield 3 AS Val gameplay for you guys, and I've got a couple different things I'd like to talk about today, starting off with the reveal of the Xbox One, what we learned about it during the actual live event and afterwards, and the general reactions to some of the information that's come out about it. So we got to see the actual console. We saw that Kinect got an upgrade and that is going to be coming paired with every Xbox One console, which is great seeing as how it has so many new voice and hand gesture commands, which I actually thought were really cool, and I'm interested in seeing how developers are going to integrate these new features into their games. For instance, Level Cap mentioned in a video earlier that it would be cool if while you were sprinting you could just kind of look over and Kinect would kind of track your head motion, and your character in-game would just be able to glance over to the left while you're sprinting. I think it would be really cool if they did stuff like this. For instance, if you were driving a Jeep or if you were flying in a jet, if you could just kind of look over to the left or to the right and Kinect would track your head movement and would be able to actually in-game just make your character glance over to the left or right. That would be really cool to see them actually do stuff that would be useful in-game like that and not so gimmicky. We saw that the console itself got some significant hardware upgrades, which is great because this is going to remove a lot of the limitations and restrictions that have been plaguing game developers for the past several years on consoles. And it's going to allow for game developers to produce a lot better looking and running games. For instance, Battlefield 4 on the Xbox One won't be restricted to running 24-man servers, which is awesome news for us Battlefield fans on the consoles. The Xbox One has live television, which is cool, I guess, if you're into that. I myself don't really watch TV, so this isn't a big deal to me, and personally, I primarily look forward to gaming in my gaming console, but it doesn't look like that's the route that the Xbox One is actually taking. It looks like they're trying to become, instead of the next big gaming console, they want to become the next big all-in-one entertainment system, which is fine too, I guess. I understand why they're taking that route, and it will probably work out for them in the end run, just as long as they don't bone their core gamers too hard, which they may end up doing with the last couple of features that I'm going to talk about, which unfortunately are the only negative features about the Xbox One, and surprise, surprise, they didn't actually mention them at the event. Reporters and journalists had to find out about them by asking different Xbox people afterwards, which is pretty lame. But before we get into the cons, let's go ahead and talk about the last couple cool features that were actually showcased on the Xbox One, such as the ability to instantly and seamlessly switch between the different apps and programs that are running on your Xbox, such as playing a video game, to pulling up a web browser and looking up a walkthrough for a part that you're stuck on, to watching Netflix, back to playing the video game, then watching live TV, and the fact that you're able to do this seamlessly and through voice commands was absolutely stunning. And the last really cool feature was the snap feature, the fact that you were able to pull up like a little web browser or app on the side of your screen while pretty much maintaining the full screen of whatever you were doing, like watching TV or a movie or playing a game. And I'm really interested in seeing how game developers are going to integrate these kind of things and these features into their games. For instance, it would be really, really cool if I was playing Battlefield 4 and I was able to snap in the battle log on the side of my screen so I could see how many more kills I needed with this weapon to get my next attachment, or what my progress was on this dog tag or assignment I was trying to unlock. That would be really, really cool to see developers actually integrate these features in a useful and advantageous way to their games. Also, the Xbox One is getting a new controller. However, the design of it looks very reminiscent of the Xbox 360 controller. For instance, all of the buttons and analog sticks appear to be exactly the same and in identical positions, which is nice if you were already a fan of the Xbox 360 controller like myself, because you'll know exactly what to expect from this. But it's also getting some upgrades. For instance, it has an internal battery, which means you won't have a clunky battery pack on the back that you constantly have to take off to recharge or swap out while you're playing games. The design of the controller itself, especially around the handles and where you would be gripping it, looked like it was more sleek, much more lightweight, and more ergonomic, and like it would actually be comfortable to hold in your hands for hours at end while you're gaming. Also, the thumbsticks on it look like they're going to be much more precise and capable of withstanding the actual wear and tear that core gamers put into the controller day in and day out. And lastly, I noticed the controller doesn't have a huge-ass Xbox guide button that you might accidentally press while trying to press start or pull up the scoreboard by pressing back, which ends up getting you killed because it takes 10 minutes to pull up and pull back down. I was really excited when I didn't see that. So all in all, I'm excited about the controller, but let's go ahead and get into the actual negative aspects of the Xbox One. And a lot of people are pretty upset about them. So the first thing is that the Xbox One will not have backwards compatibility towards Xbox 360 games. This means that you will not be able to play games such as Battlefield 3 or Forza 4 on the Xbox One, simply because this new console is built on an entirely different architecture and the games that are being developed are based on an entirely new format, so it makes sense that you won't be able to play these games on the new system. What this means to the gamer, you're going to have to hold on to your 360 for a couple more years. And honestly, in a year, 2 years from now, when all you're doing is playing Xbox One games, you really won't care about it, so it's not that big of a deal. Secondly, the used game fee. The Xbox One is going to require some sort of fee if you are not the original owner and installer of a game. Somehow on the Xbox One, when you get a game, you have to install it onto your hard drive, and once you install it, the game acknowledges that you are the first person and singular owner and purchaser of that game. So if anyone else wants to install and play that game on their Xbox One, they're going to have to pay some secondary used game fee. I understand why a lot of people are pissed about this, but me personally, I can't remember the last time I bought a used game. Pretty much 99% of the time, if I get a game, I pre-order it, and I get it at midnight, or I get it at like 10 a.m. the next day when GameStop opens. I always get my games brand new, so this really won't affect me either, so I'm not upset about it. And lastly, the always on feature, which sounds a lot worse than it actually is. The Xbox One is not going to require you to be on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, there is going to be some sort of mandatory online check-in. I don't know if it's going to be once every 24 hours or every couple of days or every week, but there is going to be some sort of mandatory online check-in. But honestly, 95% of the time that I play video games, I'm playing online multiplayer, or I'm just sitting in the dashboard and I'm online in a party with my friends. Even if I'm playing single player, 99% of the time that I'm playing a single player game, I'm in a party with my friends, talking to them, and if I get to a cutscene or something, I'll just go ahead and turn chat volume off. I'm always online if I'm playing games. Even if I'm offline playing games, I'm appearing offline even though I'm actually online connected to Xbox Live, so this really won't affect me either. I also want to mention that a lot of these things are not exactly confirmed, and we don't know entirely if they're going to be integrated into the Xbox One console. A lot of this stuff is still up in the air, but I will say it is all clearly concepts and ideas that Microsoft intended to at some point apply to the Xbox One console, and now it kind of seems like they're playing a game of chicken both with PS4 and with their own fans and consumers to see how far they're able to dig us around before we won't give them money for their console. So we'll see in the end run, and I think that's about all I have to say for the Xbox One, but I actually do have some Battlefield 4 news for you guys. Battlefield 3 will be hosting a double XP event starting today, May 23rd, and continuing all the way through the weekend into Monday, May 27th, and I highly suggest that you guys take place and participate in this if you're still trying to level up and achieve that highly prestigious shit bucket level 100 kernel, because who knows, this could be one of the last double XP events we have for BF3. So DICE has come out and officially said that October 29th will be the release date for Battlefield 4, which most likely means that the Xbox One will be coming out before then, since obviously Battlefield 4 is a title that's slated to be most likely a launch title for Xbox One. But they've also come out and said that they're going to be revealing even more information about Battlefield 4 at E3 2013 with a live multiplayer demo at 1 p.m. on Monday, June 10th. So go ahead and make sure that you guys go ahead and check that out. It's going to be ridiculous, and I'm sure that their coverage of E3 over the next following days is going to be absolutely insane as well. I'm highly looking forward to that, as well as to see what Xbox One has to offer. So that's about all I have to say about the news for Battlefield 4 and the Xbox One. So if you guys are still here and you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see more from me, make sure you hit subscribe. All of the support really helps. I plan on bringing you guys a lot more coverage of the Xbox One as we find out more information, as well as Battlefield 4, and I plan on completely covering E3 and all of the new information that we find out coming up this June. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Until I see you guys next time, peace!